Hello and welcome back to Plough Lane, where we've just seen the Dons Wimbledon draw 1-1 with Milton Keynes. We'll start with you, Rob. I thought we'll just going through the game. Dons, we got off to a good start today.
Flying start. Can we just start off by talking about Spike?
I didn't want to raise it, but
he's a bit overdressed for the occasion, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your excuse, Spike, for this? And why were you not doing your job pre-match?
I was at a wedding this morning, not my own. But yeah.
You sure dressed like that?
Yeah. I know.
Congratulations, Spike.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I was at a wedding this morning. Jay and Trisha, congratulations. And yeah, only just literally made it 5 minutes or so before we scored, which was a good timing. At one point I was thinking, if we were to win this game, am I going to have to just dress smart for the rest of our matches this season? And I was willing to do that, but I'm not sure it's necessary.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the game there. Obviously, it looked like for one stage you would have to fulfil that obligation and come in full suit and tie for the remaining home games this season. Yeah. Rob, early start for the Dons today. We've said how important it was in the pre-match show to get a good start. I thought we did.
Yeah, no, you know what Bowen spoke about after the Charlton game. We felt like we started quite slow. It took us a little while to build into the game, but I think today we maybe it's the occasion, obviously the nature of the fixture, or maybe Bowen got stuck into them before, but I think we came flying out of the blocks early on. We got the early goal. It was nice to see Woodyard get on the score sheet. I think that might have been his first goal of the season. The captain, the leader of the team, getting on the score sheet. Looked like it kind of took a deflection going in potentially, but I don't care how it goes in. We need goals, we need points. So yeah, got off to a flying start. The only disappointing thing is we didn't hold on to it today.
And Spike, we mentioned it in the pre-match show how important it would be for the leaders in the squad, the older players, to really grab the game by the scruff of its neck. How important was it? It was Woody who got that our opening goal today, and really lead by example.
Yeah, I think that was massive. Really, he's had. I think he's had a good season. I have seen a fair few places, people on Twitter, etc., giving him a little bit of stick, which I don't think is granted necessarily. But it's good to see that he, maybe proved him wrong a little bit today. He had a good game and he scored. So well done to him.
And then I think looking at the rest of that half. I think we all felt, while sitting upstairs, we all felt and agreed that it was absolutely crucial we held on till half time. Rob, what did you make of it? Do you think we did well holding on to close out that first half?
Yeah, you know what? We held on to the first half quite comfortably. We obviously came here with a game plan. I saw Mark just put up a comment there saying about how we frustrated them. We got a goal ahead, and then obviously we play 3 at the back or 5 at the back. With quite a low block, which is Nick's favourite word. And we obviously would look to play on the break. So. We saw out the half quite comfortably. Nick Zoniff didn't really have to make any saves, and to be honest with you, took a wonder strike from them to make it level. And then even then, later on, we had a couple of chances. I just also want to say I do agree with Adam Proctor. Nestor and Robinson were excellent. Woodyard one man of the match probably because of his goal, but for me, I think Zach Robinson was a contender for man of the match.
Yeah, I agree. Zach Robinson was absolutely outstanding. He's continued his fine form over the last couple of games since getting his first start in the Football League. Spike, how much do you think it says about Zach that he's come in and obviously had an incredible game today before being subbed and come into 3 incredibly tough games?
It's really promising. I think it's would have been very easy for him to come in and sort of hide, or maybe not hide, but he could have come in and just done his thing. But he's really adapting to the role that he's being asked to play. His hold-up's been excellent. I mean, especially today, I thought he looked fantastic holding the ball up. It's a shame he couldn't get on the score sheet, but his game's about a lot more than that. And ultimately, you can see he's a real team player, which is only going to benefit him and the team as we move forward.
Yeah, I think he's really grown into his role, Zach Robinson. Obviously, he's had a goal and assist the last couple of games, and I thought his hold-up play was excellent today. But then that sort of running games and a bit of confidence does for you.
Yeah. Just a comment there from somebody who goes and watches Eastbourne Borough every home game and watches Jack Curry. Going to be a great player for us, and I agree. I don't know how much you guys have seen of Jack Curry, but he's a very, very special talent. He's an incredible old school left back. Can go forward.
He's proper old. I thought he was only about 19, isn't he?
Yeah, he's proper old school. Really hard worker. I think there's a lot to come from him, and hopefully next year he'll be in our first team squad and able to play a big part for us, whatever division that's in.
Great. I'll be honest. I haven't seen Jack Curry or Billa, but I've heard good things about them.
Yeah.
All I can say about Jack Curry is every time I hear his name, it makes me hungry. So I'm like, I'll let it tickle masala, but
we'll have to get one added to the food trucks next year for you. But
cool.
looking on at the second half, I think we got off to a good start in the second half, but I think it's fair to say the game was starting to turn, and then we brought Ayub off to bring on Luke McCormack. Spike, did that one maybe surprise you a bit?
No, I was saying to you actually during the game, I was quite surprised to see him start in the first place, just given that it's Ramadan, and he must be really hard for him to be running around. I can't even imagine functioning when I haven't been able to eat or drink since the sun came up, let alone having to run around and really run hard and play well. So well done to Ayub. But I think it was the right sub to make. Maybe I was more surprised to see it not be Chislett coming on early. I thought there was a good chance he might start, considering his brilliant cameo at not at the weekend, or on Tuesday. Yeah. But he came on eventually, and I think they were effective, but not effective enough.
It's nice to have options on the bench.
Yes. For the first time since very early on this season, we looked like we had some proper utility options on the bench. Stuart Larkman has just said, personally, I thought the tactics were spot on for 70 minutes, but then we sat too deep, dropped our guard once, and then Zach, I'm assuming that is Zach's one for the future. And then, personally, I agree with that. I thought, obviously we'll go on to it there. We did start dropping for the last 20 minutes. I think that was probably energy levels and mental intent just completely going, because we were saying before we came on just how mentally and physically drained we are from watching that, let alone how the boys out there playing must feel. And then, the sucker punch goal, I'll let Rob go through that, because we were talking about would it be better to, drop points to a great goal or a shoddy goal, and we dropped them to a great goal.
You know what? It's a worldie of a goal, to be fair. Like, the angle, and from what I saw, he made a clean strike of it. But I kind of prefer a worldie of a goal for it bobble past Zadev, and you think he could have saved it. But it's obviously naturally disappointing to drop points late on in the 80th minute. But as Stuart said, we started defending deeper and deeper, and you kind of felt like it was coming, but I think that's just natural. We haven't won in 23 games now, so it's natural. Young squad mentality, and Milton Keynes really make us work. They make a lot of runs in behind. They make a lot of smart, intelligent runs, do eco runs, and it's just focusing for 90 minutes. I think, we looked like we wanted to hold on so desperately for that 1-0 win, and you're just naturally going to drop deeper. You see it with all teams from the Premier League down. It's not just us. So unfortunately, the goal did come. It looked like offside from where I was, but I'd have to watch it back. But then after that, we had one or two great chances. Ethan Chislett, I think he just fell to the wrong man. Maybe if Sam Cosgrove or Ben Hennigan gets on the end of that, we make it 2-1. And then there was some odd refereeing at the very end when we looked like we were on a break, and then the referee blew the full-time whistle, bang on 7 minutes of added time, not 1 second over. And it looked like it was 3-2. So.
Well, I think there, and you're right, we did have chances to win it. Ethan Chislett with a header at very, very close range, which the keeper closed the angle out and came out quite well, to be fair, and made it a difficult chance. But do you think maybe Chiz could have done better with that one, Spike?
I would think he would be disappointed to have not scored from there. It was about 3 or 4 yards out, and it basically fell straight to him. So yes, he would probably expect to score. I would think he would score that more often than not, but it's just one of those ones, isn't it? We've had a few of them. And
then Rob touched on it there, the fact we had a counter-attack, our first attack in the last couple of minutes. I think we were 4-on-3 at one point when the referee actually blew his whistle, 4 attackers versus their 3 left at the back. And we just broke the ball straight into the middle. When it was, tight at an angle, he let play go on. Then the second we got it into the middle and created that angle for that through ball. Full time with no additional time.
I don't think that the referees necessarily have an obligation to let the play out or anything, but like Rob said, that was bang on 7 minutes, and there was
and the ball went out a few times.
The ball has gone out a few times, a few little bits and pieces, and it's just.
Surely you allow another 10-20 seconds to see what happens
you have to let the game go.
You know what? Stru's kindly put the league table up for us, and I know obviously we're talking about it's disappointing at the end of the full-time whistle coming when it did, but when you do look at the results, the way they went, we're back within touch and distance. Put it this way, we talked before the game that we could be 7 points adrift had we lost today and got results went against us. We're 3 points adrift with, our goal difference is better from both Gillingham and Morecambe. And obviously we've got fixtures which, like I said, Crewe, Fleetwood, Accrington, winnable games.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, you look at that table, and we'll go over the other results around the league in a second, just before I start. You look at that, 3 points off, if the ref gives us another 10 seconds, we're 1 point off. And
If the ref gives us another 10 seconds and we score.
But it creates the opportunity, and
Yes.
we look at that, and if we're 1 point off, then it's a completely different game. If there is any background noise, it is the Grand National currently on TV. So I think the Silver Lounge here at Plough Lane is getting quite excited by it. So apologies for the background noise, but it's just as the other results. Bolton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Burton drew 0-0 with Plymouth, Cambridge beating Morecambe 2-1. Thank you, Cambridge. Cheltenham have beaten Portsmouth, Doncaster beat Crewe, which is, I think we'll probably talk about that in a second. Fleetwood losing against Accrington, thank you Accrington. That's got ramifications for us because obviously Accrington are not on the beach just yet. Gillingham and Wycombe drew 1-1, Lincoln lost at Wigan, no surprise there, meaning Wigan are top of the league. And Oxford losing at home to Sunderland, Charlton surprise victors at Rotherham, and Shrewsbury Ipswich 1-1. Rob, anything catch you off guard there?
You know what? It was just nice to see Gillingham and the teams around us, Morecambe, drop points to those of you because they had winnable fixtures. And what else is quite nice is us drawing 1-1 kind of makes it a little bit trickier for Milton Keynes to get promoted automatically. Rotherham have got 2 games in hand, so it makes the running quite interesting at the top of the table as well.
So the away fans were singing they were top of the league. They're not anymore. Wigan are, and then Rotherham, who are currently 3rd, do have games in hand as well. So, I think it's all to play for at the top of the table. We don't have that half of the table on the graphic to show you. But Spike, any of the results there catch you off guard?
Rotherham losing is a surprise, but I think that the top of the table is slightly misleading, as we've said. To my mind, there have been 2 clear best teams that we've played this season. That's Wigan at home and Rotherham at home, and I think that those are the 2 teams that I would expect to go up. And I've got a bit of a soft spot for Wigan. I've got a few friends who are fans of them. Rotherham.
I've never met a Wigan fan. But I don't know anyone.
Do you want to come out with us one time?
I have to come on a night out.
Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't suggest it.
Mark Jones, we might beat Crewe. I think, let's be honest, we have to. I don't think there's any choice or any doubt around that if we want to be playing League One football next year.
Is Crewe our next game?
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah,
Good Friday. So 3 o'clock kickoff on the Friday.
Our 23 losing, unbeaten 23 game without a win comes to an end on Friday. Can't get my words twisted.
I think it has to. If it doesn't, we're in League 2 next year. I think we have to be brutally honest on that.
Since Bowen's come in, though, it does look like we are building towards a win. We should have got a draw against Sheffield Wednesday. Charlton, another good performance, and today, very close to getting 3 points. I feel like it is coming, and
to be fair, I've been saying that since January and it ain't come yet.
Yeah, I'm not as happy clappy as you, George.
Well, so I think there is, obviously Crewe lost 2-0 against other relegation side Doncaster today, so I think that shows where they are. Spike, is that something we can take confidence in going into Friday's game?
I hope so. There was an interesting comment there just now about the equalising goal today. I think blaming I don't know if you can dig it out. It was basically blaming Nesta for, wonder goal when no one challenges MK player was free. Where was Nesta Guinness Walker? But I don't think Nesta was really at fault there. Obviously, you can say it's another goal that comes down the left, which seems to be where about 90% of our goals have come from at the moment. If we're going to find fault in that goal, it's with no one closing down their left centre back who had he's just took all the time in the world to
it kind of reminded me of when Barry Bannon crossed in for Sheffield Wednesday's first goal. The amount of space and time to pick that ball out. Gets marked down.
Football manager John can't blame the ref if he plays over the time he gets marked down. His reports are relevant where the ball is.
You know what we're moaning about football manager John is the fact that there was 7 minutes at a time and there was exactly 7 minutes played and the ball went out a few times. There was 1 or 2 fouls. Then we were coming up to the edge of the box and you just felt like just see what happens for the next 10 seconds.
I'm not asking.
It's always a minimum.
Right? It's a minimum of 7 for a reason because that's like saying whatever happens in that time. No, we're playing 7 exactly, no more, no less. Whereas let's be honest, there was stoppages in there, probably a minute or 2. You don't expect all of that added on. No. But you at least say the general rule is let them finish the attack, and both ways that goes. The number of times that we've conceded goals, in the whatever the injury time is +1. because that, and you just like, that's part of football.
Happens up and down the country, don't it?
Yeah.
It's like rugby league when you just like two of them goes out.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It should be something like that. But it's something that I think I'd like to have seen the ref finish that attack. And if it had been the other way, it would have been gutting. But we wouldn't be talking about the referee playing an extra 20 seconds.
I think that no one would have really had a complaint if the referee had added a little bit of time on for there.
No, exactly.
We're not saying he should play until we score.
No,
I do.
Yeah.
It would be
He's been
nice.
here for a while.
Next
I've been here for a long
exactly.
time.
Next goal wins,
But-
just to make it interesting.
But I think to give a fair representation of the added time is not an unreasonable request of a referee.
No.
If I'm being slightly cynical, I almost feel like maybe he thought that a draw would be the less dramatic of the results.
And I think, could you imagine had we then, that ball gets squared through to, I think it was Macca, wasn't it, making the run on the far side?
Yeah.
And then we score.
we would have witnessed George Jones on the pitch.
George Jones
from the third tier straight
Yeah.
onto the pitch.
I'd
George
have
would have
just thrown you
got-
over.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to have been there, but I'd have been thrown there by my colleagues here. But, I think maybe that is a valid point of discussion. Anne-Marie's not here to defend the referees, but
Good.
thankfully, that's why she's not here. Don't want anyone defending the indefensible, but maybe that was a question. Maybe that was on his mind of it's 1-1. Let's just get out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anthony Pepe's again. Results went our way, but that should have been 3 points for us. I think it could have been, maybe should have been, and those extra 2 points could have been massive at the end of the season. But if we go down, it's not because we dropped points today.
You know what, as well, we haven't won in 22 prior to today, and it's confidence, and to be fair, Milton Keynes are a good team. They've kept the ball, kept probing, like I said, and it's natural for the last 20 minutes you are going to sit deep, it just is what it is. I don't think you can really pick too much fault in the fact that we did sit deeper, and you know what, had we or not have done that, people would have gone, why don't we sit deep and part of the bus? It's kind of always hindsight after the event, in my opinion, always looks.
I think the context is so important there. It's like you said, we're deep into the 20s without winning a game.
Confidence.
We're
mentality.
lacking confidence. We're playing against a very good team. We're playing against a team that there's a lot of passion in this game for a number of reasons which we don't need to touch on. So quite rightly, the players and the management staff are going to be slightly, perhaps a bit more conservative than they might be in another game.
You know what? I feel emotionally drained after watching that game. I feel like I need a power nap.
Well,
so if I feel like that,
if it's any consolation, we are in the final run in. That was our last Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff at Plough Lane this season. No, there is no fifth game there. There is just, this is our final.
And it's only going to get smaller as well.
Yeah, we're just running out of space. It's going to be really rough after the Wickham game, and it's just 2 spots there. We'll have to find something else to fill that space in the corner. Yeah. But our last Saturday 3 p.m. at Plough Lane this season. Obviously, we've got Crewe on Friday. Massive game for us. Massive game.
Huge.
Then, what are your thoughts on that one, Rob?
Crewe's a must-win. Fleetwood's a must-win. And Accrington, you're kind of hoping they're on the beach. Andy Holt has a bit of a soft spot for us, doesn't he? So hopefully he stops off at Burger King or saying on the way down for a pre-match meal. The players aren't really too up for it. They're on the beach or whatever. I mean, I don't know if Accrington have a beach up there. And
I think they do.
Famously,
it's a beautiful coastal resort.
I'm not sure if you call it famously Accrington, maybe Blackpool, but and then if we can pick up our point against Wickham, But I sound like Nick Draper, and I don't want to sound like Nick Draper, saying 3 wins and a draw. To go from not winning 23 and then undefeated in the last 4. That seems a bit.
What do you think? Rob just said 3 wins and a draw. Are you thinking the same?
That's what we need.
As what we need.
Yes, of course. We need the bare minimum we need is to not lose again, and that feels like a big ask for a team that hasn't won in 23 games, but. It's a big ask to get out of being in the relegation zone with 4 games left.
You know what? I think Crewe is a must-win on Friday. Anything less than 3 points, they're gone.
And the thing is, Crewe have been gone since Christmas.
Yeah, they lost to Doncaster, second bottom. It is a must-win game. That one. So.
It's just interesting if you sort of look at how close everything is above us. I know.
Goal difference is in our
that's
favour.
the thing. I mean, you mentioned it. That goal difference. We win on Friday. We're out of the bottom 4, potentially, depending on how results elsewhere go.
Fleetwood's a 6-pointer.
Fleetwood's a 6-pointer, but that's the thing. And historically, we've always done quite well at Fleetwood. Aki at home, they'll be on the beach won't be on a beach in Accrington because I think something quite catastrophically has gone wrong with the climate if there's a beach in Accrington.
There is a climate disaster going on at the moment.
But yeah, no, I think we can all agree anything less than 3 points to come. If we're on less than 38 points when we arrive here and do our pre-match show on Monday next week, I think we're gone.
I don't think I'll be here for that pre-match show.
No, that'll just be me and Nick Draper being happy clapping.
My worry would be not so much the implications of not having won from a points perspective, but how are the players going to motivate themselves knowing that they are now potentially 6 points off?
Yeah.
With having lost or not beaten the bottom team in the league, who are 10 points below us, by far the worst team I've seen this season. It wouldn't bode well.
Yeah,
so
it's a shootout between us, Gillen, and Morecambe and Fleetwood, and fortunately, you know, Fleetwood we've got to play. That's a big, massive one, and. You know, we've got winnable games, so it is kind of in our hands still.
You could also. Sorry.
Go on.
No, you go.
I was going to say, and I think, to be honest with you, we might not even need to beat Wickham, like even just 3 wins.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you could. Really, you talk about Fleetwood having a game in hand. I'm not sure, George. Do you know who their game in hand is against?
No, I don't. I'll leave that to our director, who's still Stuart.
Regardless of who it is, I would assume that it's someone who is above them in the league. So. When you're down there,
have we got the fixture running from that we used in the pre-match show, Stu? We should be able to work it out from there.
Let's assume that it's someone who's half decent.
Yeah.
If they beat Fleetwood, then that potentially drags their goal difference a little bit down and maybe pulls them slightly more back into it.
Yeah, well, I think any team that, I mean, you're right. It's Fleetwood, Gillingham, and us. I think Donny are probably gone.
Can I just say?
So this is pre-match, so that table's not accurate anymore. We're just using that to look at the remaining games. You look at that, Fleetwood have got obviously Oxford at home, Gillingham away, Sheffield Wednesday away, Bolton away, and that is one hell of a running.
That's rough.
I mean, you look at that and you think 4 points if they're lucky from those games. If you exclude the game against us, 4 points from 3 points probably from those remaining games.
One thing I would say though, they do play both Gillingham and us back to back, and you know if they picked up 6 points, they'll be targeting them 2 games. So, I can't remember who the user was before who said it's going to be incredibly close, but you know I think that's what we do every single season. Is it as long as we go into the Accrington game, last game of the season, within fighting chance, you know, it makes it interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing. You look at that, Morecambe's running there. Obviously, they've got Charlton away, who beat Rotherham. So obviously, they're picking up Portsmouth at home, MK away, and Sunderland at home. That's really tough. So you look at that and you think, we were saying 3 wins and a draw. Maybe even 2 wins and a draw might be enough. You look at that running.
If I'm looking at them fixtures, I definitely feel like we've got one of the favourable run-ins out of them. So,
Just looking at this graphic here in the top right, is Crew Alexander a relative of Shea Alexander?
Yeah, Carlo Rossi has done the graphics for us, so we'll give him credit, and also blame for when there's blame. So thank you, Carlo.
When there's a blame, there's a claim
on that one. But you look at that Doncaster. I think are we honest and say they're gone? I know they won today, but it's a mountain to climb. Or do you think they're in it? Spike.
I mean, I don't think we can rule them out just because they're mathematically not. I know Crew mathematically aren't, but they seem a way off it.
You know what though? Doncaster's goal difference even before today was minus 48.
Yeah, that'll be the thing.
I'm going to stick my neck out here and say Doncaster are gone. Yeah. So Mark Hendricks might end up making a quote, a bit like when Nick didn't predict Newadi will end up at Notts County. So
and then you look at it. So realistically, like we said, it's Fleetwood, Gills, us, Morecambe, two from 4.
Yep.
And then you look at that and you say, we've mentioned Morecambe, we've said Fleetwood, Gills. They've got a tough run in as well. They've got Cheltenham away. Obviously, we know how tough that can be. Fleetwood at home, Portsmouth away, Rotherham home. This is going to be a really long run in, and there might not be many points.
I looked at.
Thanks, Carlo. Really appreciate it. We recycle old material here.
I listened to Alan Paul on the BBC London podcast with Lau Taylor and Mark Bowen, and Mark Bowen did say, it's a mini league and he's got point targets. So, like I said, it's 2 from 4 now, and like I said, he's got his point targets, and I'm sure, like I said, with the running, we'll be targeting all 3 points against Crew.
Yeah, no, I think realistically, I think it's 7 points is the minimum between the end of the season to give us a fighting chance. 9 points makes that a bit more comfortable, but 7 points is the bare minimum. So anyway, that's just wrapping up here. That's all we've got time for. So obviously we're away to Crewe Alexandra on Friday with a 3 p.m. kickoff, and we're back here on Plough Lane Monday against Wickham. Monday the 18th, that is, with a 3 p.m. kickoff. We'll have a pre-match show and a post-match show. We'll confirm the timings and our guests closer to the time for that fixture. But we look forward to seeing you. And then a quick reminder: the Accrington game is a very early kickoff. It's a 12:30 kickoff on the final game, so we'll have details for that in due course.
And we'll be having a staying up party after it, of course.
Yeah, and we'll be having a survival party at the end of it.
And most importantly, that's when George is going to be getting his Lyle Taylor.
Yeah, we'll have Lyle Taylor here signing his contract to join us and giving me a haircut. Final thought: the women are here tomorrow, so get your tickets and come down and support them. That's all we've got time for. Bag first, middle class, whatever Nick Draper says. We'll see you on Monday the 18th.